Hey everyone, welcome back to Man Scouts Outdoor Cooking. I'm glad to be here with you today, and I'm just enjoying the outdoor atmosphere. So we're coming into the summertime here, and it just feels great to be outside. Today we're going to dive into what size and what type of Dutch oven is right for you. Now this question has many variables. So today I'm going to talk through a lot of the qualifiers to help you decide which one's right for you and which one's really not. The first thing that you want to know is, or think about, is how many people are you going to be feeding with your Dutch oven. The purpose of the Dutch oven is having a good wholesome time with family and friends. And so you want to make sure that you have enough good food for everybody. So if you're cooking for one or two, then maybe you need a smaller Dutch oven. If you're cooking for a whole party of people, then you're going to want a bigger Dutch oven. Now, there's a lot of different sizes of Dutch ovens, as you probably know. I mean, you can get down to a 4-6-inch Dutch oven up to, 16, 18 inches, just ginormous. You could feed a whole neighborhood with that. So think about to yourself, how many people am I going to be feeding? For me, I know that generally I'm going to use my Dutch oven primarily during the summertime. I'm going to be feeding my family, not a ton of other people. So probably a 12, maybe a 14-inch. I like to have some leftovers. That would probably do for me. I like to cook a lot of good food. But for you, if you're just cooking for yourself or if you're cooking for a big party, maybe you need a couple of big Dutch ovens. You also want to think about, what kind of food are you cooking in your Dutch oven? I mean, if you're cooking a lot of kind of main foods, your meats, your potatoes, you're going to want a big Dutch oven for that, but maybe you're going to cook some sides too. You're going to maybe want one big Dutch oven and then a few smaller, maybe 10 or 12-inch Dutch ovens. So kind of think about, before you buy, what kind of meals are you going to be preparing in your Dutch oven? Maybe you're going to need something for dessert. And I mean, they have different styles and shapes of Dutch ovens. You have your kind of classic Dutch oven. You know, it looks just like a big cast iron pot. Maybe it has legs, maybe it doesn't. But there's a lot of other types of Dutch ovens. I mean, you have long ones, you have skinny ones, you have fat ones. Really anything that you could need, you're going to be able to find it. The next thing you're going to want to think about is storage of your Dutch oven. Now, this one might sound a little bit weird because you're probably just thinking about the time when you're going to be using your Dutch oven. But there's going to be a good chance that you're not going to be cooking in it every single day. If you are, let me know and I'm going to be coming on over. But if you're going to be storing your Dutch oven for long periods of time, you need to make sure that you have the space to do that. So if you're going to buy 6 Dutch ovens, but you don't have anywhere to store them, then they're going to become a permanent fixture on your kitchen counter. I promise you, nobody's going to want that because they're heavy, they take up some space. If you have space to store them out in a shop or in a shed or in a garage, good, buy what you need and store them out there. But again, if you don't have space for them, maybe think about sizing down or buying a different shape where you can kind of hide them in places where you need to be a little bit creative. The next thing that you want to think about is mobility. Now, this one's a big one that people don't think about. If you're taking your Dutch oven camping, and you're going to go hiking, and you're going to be hiking in a mile or, something far in like that, you are going to want as light a pack as possible. And carrying a Dutch oven that weighs 10, 20 pounds, not to mention all the other stuff, your gear, your food, you're going to be packing in a lot of weight. And so make sure that if you're going to be packing stuff in, you might even want to think about an alternative method of cooking, to be honest. But if this Dutch oven is your thing like it is mine, then just pick something that's a little bit lighter. I mean, they have Dutch ovens that are thinner walls, they have thinner lids, they're just lighter altogether, and then they have ones that are a little bit thicker. So think about the mobility of your Dutch oven. If you're just taking it out of the shop and moving it to the backyard, 10 to 100 feet, you're not going to have big of a problem as if you're going to go camping and hiking with it. The next thing you're going to want to think about is the type of fuel you're going to use to cook with your Dutch oven. If you're going to be using briquettes, you're going to want a lid that's kind of sunk in a little bit where the briquettes are not going to roll off. If you have a kind of a domed lid, you can use wood chips and briquettes still, but there's a good chance that you're going to have a hard time with them sliding off. And so make sure that you know your preference of fuel. For me, I use briquettes probably 90% of the time. So I want something that's kind of concave. I can just set my briquettes in there and not have to worry about them. Also, I like Dutch oven with feet on them. This one doesn't have it, but a lot of my other ones do. You're going to want something that just really fits your style, that fits what you need it to be. So these are the things, some of the things that you need to think about when you're buying a Dutch oven. You don't want to get yourself something that you're not going to use. I remember a couple years back, we got a gift of a Dutch oven. It was actually a cast iron skillet. It was probably 18 or 20 inches. That thing probably weighed 30 pounds. And I mean, we used it maybe once or twice, but it just sat around and just took up space. We never wanted to pull it out because it was too heavy. It took up almost the whole stove if we were going to cook inside with it. And so you really just want to kind of know what you need and then go work backwards from there. Look at some of these factors that are important to you and then just work back from there. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Give us a like and a subscribe, and we are making as many videos as possible for you guys. We want to help you guys out. So if you wouldn't mind, help us out. Now go make some good food.